Okay, you guys. Let me take these off. It is 4 o'clock in the morning. My husband just left for work. And I'm gonna try and get this video filmed before my kids wake up. 1, that way I'm not interrupted, and 2, because it's probably gonna get a little bit emotional for me. Today is Tuesday, June 1st. 9 days before my son Luca turns 1, and 13 days before my daughter turns 7. But today marks 17 years since my almost 11-year-old self. I was 10. I was gonna be 11 in a month. My world was flipped upside down. And I lost my best friend. My biggest inspiration, my biggest hero, my biggest drive to be as happy and positive as I can be, and to find the good in just about everything. So, this guy right here, I think he was probably, it doesn't say on the back, but I think in this picture he was probably 8 or 9. And then this one's going to be a little harder to see because it's a Polaroid, but that's my pops, my adopted dad, and that is the best person I have ever known in my whole life. Cover my face so it'll focus. His name is Aaron, and he was my best friend. He passed away at 16 due to complications from muscular dystrophy, and I was 10 years old when he passed away. Now, if you were just here that I was 10 and my best friend passed away at 16 years old, a lot of people would think that's weird. But we all lived on a little dead-end street. It was me and my brothers. Not my brothers, I only had one brother at the time. Aaron and 3 other people. We were a big group. This is how my body responds to emotions. I sneeze a lot. We lived on a dead-end street, and we spent all day, every day, the 6 of us, up and down the street. And for a lot of what I can remember, I think all of what I can remember from my childhood and being friends with Aaron was that he was in his wheelchair. And from a very young age, I remember it's an electric wheelchair, and on the back has the battery, and we used to get in so much trouble because we would stand on that battery and he would zoom us up and down the street. We would hold on to his handlebars while on a skateboard, and he would pull us down the street. And you guys, the whole reason I'm making this video is because all of us, even myself, can sometimes get caught up in the little negative things that are happening in our lives, and we forget all of the positive things. And I wanted to make this video in memory of him because, especially lately, I've had a hard time. Just mentally, with a lot of things that are going on, I've had a hard time. And this guy right here in this wheelchair, he was the happiest. He had every reason in the world to be mad, to be sad, and to be depressed. And now, as 27, almost 28 years old, I know that when the doors were shut and we weren't around, he did get sad. And being sad is okay. But I never saw him without a smile on his face. I never saw him get mad because he couldn't do some of the things we did. I never saw him get sad because he couldn't do some of the things we did. He didn't let that wheelchair stop him from doing anything. He would take it down to the creek bed with us. He took it like between 5 and 10 miles because my brother and 2 of our friends were going gallivanting and he wanted to go gallivanting, and so they took him, and he took that wheelchair. Not a care in the world if it ran out of battery. He wasn't going to let it stop him from being with his friends and doing what his friends wanted to do and what he wanted to do. He wasn't ever going to let it stop him. I spent every Monday night from a very young age at his house on his couch watching Monday Night Raw. I spent many nights eating dinner at the dinner table with his family, who have and always will be my family. My daughters, Mimi and Peepaw, are his parents. And you guys, I know it's easier said than done to look at the positive. But that's what Aaron did. Aaron looked at the positive all the time. He was always so positive, always so bright. And when I'm having a really hard time with anything in life, I have to remember the simple things of, I can walk, I can run, I can feed myself, I can get in and out of bed by myself, I can bathe myself. He couldn't, and he was still the happiest person I have ever known in my whole life. So why is it that when I'm having a bad day, I tell myself that I can't? Because if he can do all the things he did in that wheelchair, he won medals in the Special Olympics, he did anything and everything that he wanted to do. He didn't let that wheelchair stop him from anything. So why do I let myself stop me? Now, I have one specific memory. I believe I was around 7 or 8, and we went to a monster truck rally. I don't have like any specific memories from that monster truck rally, but I just remember it was me and my brother and Aaron and his parents, and I just remember the smile on his face, the constant joy. And I just hope and pray that one of these days my babies will get the joy of having such a positive and such a wonderful role model. And it kills me every day knowing that my babies will eventually they will get to see him. And I'm sure that before God sent me my babies, they got to meet him. But it kills me that they will never see him on this earth. It kills me that I don't get to see his smiling face anymore, and it kills me because I know the pain. I know the pain that his parents are in. That my adopted parents are in. They lost their only child. And I don't know how they do it. I don't know how for the last 17 years they've got up and went on with their lives. But boy, am I so proud of them. I'll never forget when I woke up on June 1st, 2004. It was during the first week of summer break. And so we were still on our, getting up relatively early schedule. I remember my mom pulled in the driveway from work early. She had just went to work like 2 hours before. And right then and there I knew something wasn't right. Something bad had happened. But my 10-year-old brain thought my mom lost her job. Great. I mean, we were already pretty poor, so, she'll find another one and we'll move on. I thought maybe one of my great-grandparents were sick. Which is sad, but at 10 years old, I didn't realize the effects that Duchenne muscular dystrophy, any muscular dystrophy, had on a person. To me, Aaron was just Aaron. And that's just how God made him. And then I woke up, and I was sitting outside at that picnic table with the white metal legs and the green top and the green seats. And my mom pulls up. She gets out of her car. And she walks over to where I'm sitting, and she has my brother sit down. And I'll be honest, my brother and him were a lot closer than me and him were. She called my brother over to sit down. And she just sat in silence for a minute. And then she hugged us both. And she said, "You guys, Aaron went to be with Jesus. And for as long as I can remember, the way I've dealt with grief and the way I've dealt with people passing is I bottle it up. And I don't show my sadness because I know in that moment, I am needed. I am needed to be strong and to help hold other people up. And so, it wasn't then that I felt my world shatter. It wasn't then that I felt my heart break into a million pieces. It was then that I put my armor on. And at the moment I'm putting my armor on, my brother jumps up. And all he can do is run. Run down the street. He didn't believe it. And so, I can't tell you exactly when I felt my world shatter from that moment. And I can't tell you exactly when I felt my heart crumble into a million pieces. Because to be honest, for me, it doesn't happen at one time. It doesn't. It doesn't hit me. I don't let it. Things like that hit me all at once. I shouldn't be smiling, but I just thought of this one time. We're all playing out under this tree in our friend Jose's yard. And Jose and two of our other friends and my brother all had their shirts off. And I was like 6, 7 maybe. And they took their shirts off, and I thought, oh, I look like that. I'm going to take my shirt off too. Oh, I got in so much trouble, you guys. See, this is how I cope with things. I start getting emotional, and then I think of a happy thing to kind of pull myself out of that. But I lost my train of thought now that I, distracted myself. From a very young age, I experienced a lot of grief in a short amount of time. Well, not a very young, well, to me it's very young. I think it started when I lost 3 people, and I want to say a span of like 4 years. 3 people who I was very close to, who meant a lot to me. Between the ages of 9 and 12, I believe. And I did ask my adopted mom before I showed his picture and before I talked about this, because she does watch, and it is her son, and I didn't want to blast it all over the internet if she didn't want it there. She did say it was okay. So, I also want to discuss that people grieve in very different ways. For a while, I just liked to pretend that it didn't happen. None of it ever happened. For my brother, he got angry. He got very angry. And that's okay. I think now of what Aaron would be doing in heaven. And I know that he's up there walking. He's up there running. He's watching over me and my children. And he loves them very much, and I know that. I remember being pregnant with my daughter and finding out that my due date was June 11th. And I remember praying so hard, so very hard, that she would not come early. That she would at least make it past June 1st. Because I can't be sad that my best friend is gone, but also happy that my baby is here. I can't handle those two conflicting emotions at once. And then, a year before she was born, I had another best friend pass away on June 12th. And so once we made it past June 1st, another best friend passed. And I prayed. I said, God, please, we made it past June 1st. Please either let her come now or after June 12th. Not on June 12th, please. And well, God has a funny way of answering our prayers. And my daughter came on June 14th, 3 days overdue. And it's like I tell her, and I feel it in my heart, that she was 3 days late. Because all the people I love that have gone to heaven and that are with Jesus, let God know that I needed to get past it. I needed to get past the heartache before my daughter came. And I feel as though, even though they're babies in the womb, I feel as though her spirit and the person she is, the person she is, did not fully connect with her body until she came out of the womb. Because my loved ones in heaven were loving on her a little extra. Because my daughter saved my life. And I think they knew that would happen. The point of this video is to, 1, discuss the way I'm feeling today. 2, try and get these emotions out before my kids wake up, because I don't want them to see me sad like this. I mean, I know there's nothing wrong with it, and I'm sure they will, because I will talk to them about it and with them. My daughter knows who her Uncle Aaron is. My sons know who their Uncle Aaron is. I talk with them about him all the time. And another reason for this video is because in memory of my best friend, in memory of my biggest hero, my biggest inspiration, my biggest driving force, I want to let y'all know, if he can wake up every day and put a smile on his face, and if he can take that wheelchair down a creek bed, and if he can take that wheelchair on a 5-mile trek across town, if he can do anything he wants to do, so can you. And that is why my favorite saying in the world, and I say it to my kids all the time and they get so mad, is because can't never could. He didn't say can't. He said I will, and he did. If you guys take anything from this, anything at all, take that no matter what you're going through in life, no matter how hard it may seem, no matter how bad you just want to give up, know that there is hope. Know that there are positive things in your life to be grateful for and to be happy about. And don't dwell on the negative. Don't dwell on the hard. If you need to take a day and do nothing but lay in your bed and be still, then do it. But then you get up the next day and you fight whatever it is you're going through, just like Aaron did. At his funeral, the one thing he always wanted to do, that he could never do, was ride on the back of his dad's Harley. And so, from the church to the cemetery, he was cremated. From the church to the cemetery, he rode on the back of his dad's Harley. Until he finally got to do the one thing he couldn't do. You guys, I can express to you how grateful I am that God let me have him for even just the short time that I did. Because of him, I have the most amazing adopted parents. My kids have the most amazing Mimi and Peepaw in this world. His parents, no offense to anybody in my family who might be watching this, but his parents have done more for me than anyone else ever has. They were there if I called them in the middle of the night. And they were there when I was going through a really hard time, and they may not have known it, but I'm sure they had their inkling when I was going through the worst depression I'd ever been through. They never turned their back on me because I made a poor decision. They never turned their back on me because they didn't like who I was dating. They never turned their back on me because I was pregnant, because they just never did. They never, not once have they ever turned their back on me. And they have always given me what I needed. A place to stay, a shoulder to cry on. They've helped me with bills. They've helped me with my kids. And they bought my graduation invitations. They have done so much for me, and I could never repay them for that. You guys, keep me and keep everyone who loved him, especially his parents, in your thoughts and prayers today, as today is a very, very hard day. Okay? I think I'm gonna leave it there. I know this video was a little all over the place, but it is what it is. I love you, Aaron, and I miss you so much, but I know that you're walking this life right beside me, and I know that you're walking this life right beside my kids, and you've got them. And sure, you can't protect them from everything, but I know you'll try. Love you, bud. Bye.